a question. So we got an email from your office saying regarding two of the resolutions that the student assembly has. So I just wanted to kind of ask you about that. I'm specifically concerned about the Housing Resolution 13, which calls for restructuring the housing lottery. It seemed like there were two rationales that you brought forward when you asked us to reconsider this. The first was the implementation timeline. I guess there was some concern about implementing this year, which is obviously completely understandable. The second rationale was the fact that campus life seemed to think that restructuring this way would actually lead to less demand for student housing. I just wanted to kind of get more feedback from you about exactly how we can go about revising this. To answer your question.
I think, Nikhil, it's really trying to make sure that the Student Assembly understands how such a change will play out. As you know, the President can say three things when he gets a direct resolution from the SA, which is yes, no, or reconsider. And because of the timing, which was going to delay it for a year, it seemed the most formal and appropriate way was to recommend that he reconsider it, which is not denying it at all, but to say there's some pieces here, let's just make sure the Assembly and Campus Life have done their homework together. Given our increased enrollment, what happens if the sophomores go first? Will there be any beds for juniors and seniors? That's one option. What happens if there's a discussion now about extending the continued occupancy to College Town as well as the West Campus and program houses where they've had it before? How will that meet the needs of juniors and seniors? If the sophomores don't take all the beds, but take the better beds, which is what happens when you get the first numbers, will juniors and seniors fill the rest, or will we find ourselves with empty beds? So we just want, frankly, to partner with you to make sure we go through that planning scenario and have a joint understanding. And I think once that's there, whether that will revise what you're proposing or not, at least at that point we can say, okay, both Campus Life and Student Assembly have done this planning together. We can meet the students' interests and the business needs of Campus Life. Let's get that put together and get it back in the spring in plenty of time so that if everybody knows next year this would be the time. That was the intent.
Let's move on and let's talk a little more about you. What are your priorities now as you are the Executive Vice President? Is there going to be a reordering of what you're going to be doing? Are you going to be taking on some new initiatives that perhaps were falling to the wayside before?
Yeah, so I'll focus on two or three issues. The first is the housing lottery. I think you guys had reported on this a few weeks ago about how we put sophomores first in the lottery system. And I really appreciate the positive feedback you guys gave. One of the roles of the Executive Vice President is to follow up on actions of the Assembly. What happened after we passed that resolution unanimously by a vote of 19-0 was that President Skorton basically said, you guys ought to reconsider implementing this for this year. So we went back to the drawing board. I just want to make sure that those changes are actually implemented soon. So that's going to be one priority.